Thank you so much, Christy. You should come over here because Elvis is in the house. Randy Friskie, otherwise known as Elvis. You call yourself a tribute artist, is that right? Not an impersonator.
Yeah, I came up with that because I've always figured I do a tribute to who I think is one of the, or if not the greatest performer live that ever lived. And so I made that up a while back, and now it's taken a lot of people, out there using it anyway. So yeah, I'm a tribute artist. I do tribute.
I always wonder, like, do you have to register? Like, has anybody from Elvis's camp ever said to any of the people who do, I don't want to say impressions, but tributes, said, hey, wait a minute, that's the image, those are the songs, you can't do that?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You have to be careful. See, I've always used my own name, and I've always done the tribute thing. So, there have been shows that have been shut down, but I've worked with the estate, and I've done some really good things with them, and worked with all his band and some really cool people. And so, I mean, yeah, they're pretty strict, but as long as you...
so they have guidelines?
Oh, yeah, they do.
What's one thing you couldn't do that would have them say, hey, wait a minute?
Well, some people will put just Elvis's name up there, be like Elvis, Elvis, and Elvis. And then you get in trouble because, like, I mean, you're not using your own name. You're not, you're not saying you're doing a tribute to the king or whatever. And I think, they keep a good eye on it. They really do. And you can't use images. Some people try to use pictures of Elvis, and I've always I got to use my own.
You use pictures of you.
So it's.
I mean, you got the chops.
Yeah.
Sir. You don't need the pictures.
It's worked out, I guess, okay.
You. When did you fall in love with Elvis Presley? When did you realize that you loved his music and his songs and his dances and all of that?
Enough to make a career out of it.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up in a musical family, and I played drums and guitar. My dad played 14 different instruments, so we all played.
My God, that's incredible.
Yeah, he's self-taught too. Like, there was no internet back then.
Wow.
Right? But but when I was a little kid, I saw him in a movie once, and my mom was probably
What was the
watching.
movie?
Love Me Tender. And I was just a little kid, and I remember he passed on in the movie, and I was all upset because I didn't know it wasn't real. And I thought, hey, that guy was cool. He looked good. He sang, all the stuff. And then I grew my hair long, and I was the long-haired drummer guy. But what happened was I went and saw a few guys, and I was an Elvis fan, but I like all kinds of music.
And a musician, obviously.
And a music, yeah. And I like different music, but I went and saw a few of the guys that were supposed to be the best. And what got me about them was they had a really major attitude. And all my friends are going, Randy, get up there, you'll smoke them, right? And so I said, well, I'm going to. So I just didn't like the way they carry themselves. It was more of that bothered me.
You're talking about other tribute artists,
right? Because I always thought Elvis, one thing about him is he carried himself like a gentleman and a really cool guy, And that's what made Elvis cool, is because he was so humble. He was just kind of like, I mean, he was Elvis. He was like, never thought he was better than anybody, and he just wanted to go out and sing, and so when I saw these guys, I was like, that's just not right. And then I said, maybe I'll do this for a year. Well, it was a while back. So.
that was how long ago?
Because I remember at Expo '86, you were like selling out every day, weren't you?
Yeah, it was pretty. That's that's why I stayed in BC, and that's why it's good to be.
Is that where you had your big success and kind of decided I can make a career out of this?
Well, yeah, it was the main one, and then I went to Vegas right afterwards.
Wow.
And one time I wasn't even supposed to be. I wasn't old enough to be there, but they hired me anyway. And but the Expo was it. Yeah, it was. A wonderful time, man. I loved it.
I mean, you sing a lot of the same songs and have for years. Which one still gives you a jolt? Like, which one do you really like to sing?
I think it does depend on the audience. If you got a younger crowd, I like the ones that are obscure that nobody knows. And there's one that Elvis only did live twice, and I get asked to do it every night.
Really?
It's called Just Pretend. It's a really, see, you don't even, I
thought you were going to use Marie's the name of his latest flame.
Oh, that's a cool one.
I love that song.
That's a cool song.
That's got a great drum.
Yeah. We were rehearsing that tonight. It's got the Bo Diddley beat, right?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly.
He's a good drummer.
He's got it, right? And, oh yeah, I love that song.
I got that on the iPod.
Okay, you should drum and you should sing as we go to break.
Sounds like a plan.
Ready?
Okay, ready?
Very old friend came by today, and he was telling everyone in town of the love that he just found, and Marie's the name of his latest flame. He talked and talked, and I heard him say, that she had the longest blackest hair, prettiest green eyes anywhere.